When was the last time your life actually went according to plan? Think about it. You probably had something mapped out: school, career, relationships, dreams you thought you'd chase. You maybe pictured it all moving in a straight line. Step 1 leads to step 2, which leads to step 3, and eventually you're standing right in front of the dream you always wanted. At least, that's how we were told it works. But when you look back, did it ever play out that way? If you're like most of us, the answer is no. Life is messy. It rarely unfolds in neat, organized steps. It's unpredictable, confusing, full of twists you didn't expect and turns you didn't prepare for. You think you've figured it out, you start feeling confident, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, something knocks you off track. Maybe it's rejection. Maybe it's a missed opportunity. Maybe it's a personal struggle. And in that moment, you start to wonder if you'll ever actually reach your dream, or if the road is just too chaotic. That's exactly the truth Johnny Depp put into words recently. And he didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't try to polish it into some picture-perfect motivational speech. Instead, he said it as bluntly as it could be said: the road to your dreams is a hot mess. And the internet, well, the internet exploded with it. Because those words, as simple as they are, hit right at the heart of what so many of us feel. Think about why this struck such a chord. We grow up hearing this story: chase your passion, work hard, stay focused, and success will come to you. It's drilled into us from a young age. Teachers tell us. Parents repeat it. Motivational posters plaster it everywhere. It paints this beautiful picture that if you just put in enough effort, things will line up smoothly. It's comforting. It makes us believe that we have more control than we actually do. But if you've ever gone after something you truly care about, you already know, that's not reality. Reality looks more like this: you try something, and it doesn't work out. You try again, and you hit another wall. Then, just when you think you're making progress, life throws something unexpected at you, something that has nothing to do with your effort or talent. Maybe the timing is wrong. Maybe someone else gets the opportunity. Maybe a door slams shut, and you have no idea why. That's reality. And Depp's words captured it perfectly. But here's the key: he wasn't saying, don't chase your dreams. He wasn't being cynical or discouraging. What he was really saying is this: if you're going to chase your dreams, you need to know the truth about the road you're stepping onto. It's unpredictable. It's messy. It's going to test you. And that's not a reason to stop. That's a reason to prepare yourself. Because when you expect the chaos, you don't crumble under it. You recognize it as part of the journey. Let's imagine your dream for a second. Picture it like a destination on a map. You've typed it into your GPS. You expect to see one clean route laid out for you: 30 minutes, no stops, smooth drive. But instead, your GPS keeps rerouting. 1 minute you're on the highway, the next you're detoured through traffic. Then you hit construction. Then you're forced onto side streets you didn't even know existed. It's frustrating. You question whether you're even heading the right way. But here's the thing: if you keep going, if you don't give up, you still arrive. The route might look completely different than you imagined, but the destination doesn't disappear. Now here's where most people get stuck. They expect the road to be straight. So when it isn't, they panic. They assume they're failing. They assume they're not good enough. But the truth is, the mess is normal. The first step is simply to expect it. If you know ahead of time that things won't be perfect, then when you run into rejection or failure, you won't see it as the end. You'll see it as part of the process. And look, it's not just some cliché. You can see it in Depp's own story. His career hasn't been a neat, smooth climb. There were years when people wrote him off completely. Critics said he was done. Headlines screamed that he'd never bounce back. For most people, that kind of public rejection would have been the end. They would have packed up, walked away, and faded out quietly. But he didn't. He used that rejection, that negativity, as fuel to reinvent himself. That's the second step in this whole process. Use the setbacks to drive you forward instead of letting them crush you. Think about your own life. Has there ever been a time when someone doubted you? When someone dismissed you? When something you worked for didn't go your way? You probably remember how much it hurt. But if you look back closely, you might also see that it pushed you into something else, maybe something even better. Rejection hurts in the moment, but it often redirects us to exactly where we need to go. The third key is staying flexible. You've probably noticed that the people who succeed aren't always the smartest in the room. They're not always the most talented either. But they are adaptable. They're willing to change course when something doesn't work out. They don't see detours as disasters, they see them as alternate routes. And that mindset makes all the difference. Flexibility doesn't mean giving up on your dream. It means being open to reaching it in a way you didn't originally picture. Maybe you wanted to get there through one path, but life is pointing you toward another. If you're too rigid, you'll get stuck. If you're flexible, you'll keep moving forward. And finally, there's something even more important: keeping your identity. The chaos of the journey can wear you down. It can make you question yourself, make you forget why you even started. But Depp's point was clear: don't lose yourself in the process. You can chase your dream without letting the mess strip away your passion, your values, your uniqueness. In fact, holding on to who you are is what makes the dream worth reaching. Otherwise, you might get there, but you won't even recognize yourself when you do. Now let's talk about something people rarely admit. The truth is, talent isn't the deciding factor. Persistence is. There are countless talented people who never reached their dreams, not because they weren't capable, but because they gave up too soon. The ones who make it, more often than not, are the ones who simply didn't quit. They kept going when it was messy, when it was uncertain, when it felt like progress was invisible. And here's another trap: comparison. This one destroys more dreams than failure ever does. Because while you're in the middle of your messy chapter, someone else is posting their big success online. They're showing their highlight reel, the polished final product. And you sit there thinking, why am I not there yet? What's wrong with me? But what you don't see is there behind the scenes. You don't see their late nights, their failures, their doubts, their rejections. You're comparing your unedited, messy reality to someone else's filtered version. And that's never fair. So how do you keep yourself going when the road feels like chaos? Here's a simple trick: don't rely on motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, like the weather. You can't depend on it to carry you every day. Instead, build habits. Small, daily actions that keep you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Because progress doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from consistency. Those little steps, repeated over time, add up to something massive. Even when everything feels like a mess, those habits become your anchor. Now, let's step back for a moment. Maybe the mess isn't just something to survive. Maybe it's the very thing that shapes you. Think about it: if the road were easy, if everything happened exactly as planned, would you really grow? Would you develop the resilience, the patience, the perspective that comes from struggle? Probably not. The mess is what sharpens you. It's what prepares you to actually handle the dream when you finally reach it. Because getting the dream is one thing. Being able to hold on to it, to handle the weight of it, is another. And that strength only comes from the chaos along the way. So yes, Depp was right. The road to your dreams is a hot mess. But maybe that's exactly why it matters. If it were smooth, everyone would do it. If it were easy, the achievement wouldn't feel half as powerful. The mess is what makes the story worth telling. The mess is what makes the dream mean something when you finally get there. So here's where I want to turn it over to you. Think about your own story. Think about your own dream. What's one messy moment in your journey that actually taught you something valuable? Maybe it was a rejection that pushed you to grow. Maybe it was a failure that taught you a lesson you couldn't have learned any other way. Maybe it was a detour that eventually led you to something better than you imagined. Whatever it was, that's part of your story. And I'd love to hear it. Share it in the comments. And if this resonated with you, if it made you feel a little less alone in your own messy journey, then stick with me. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more conversations like this. And don't miss the next video, where we'll look at how some of Depp's toughest failures, moments that could have ended everything, actually became the foundation for his biggest wins. Because at the end of the day, every dream worth chasing comes with chaos. Every meaningful story is filled with chapters that look messy, complicated, and overwhelming. The goal isn't to avoid the mess. The goal is to learn to live with it, to grow through it, and maybe even to dance in it.